this fight more than any fight on the card.
I agree. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's been fun covering them, through this whole Ultimate Fighter season, and I'm pumped, man. It's going to be a good one. Two guys like to bang, I foresee a knockout or TKO. I don't think it goes the distance, so.
Yeah, probably not. Now it's different, and I know that Roy Nelson used to say it's just about winning and, whatever it takes to win, but there's a lot on the line.
Yeah.
And Usman's thinking about it. I know Zac's thinking about it. And as much as you want to try to block it out, how can you?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that the difference is when you have guys who are trying to get to where Usman is and Adesanya is and Nunez is, they're much more hungry. And so they're going to take those chances and try and knock people's heads off. The guys still kind of comfortable. They're like, I'm okay with winning with points. I've done my part. And so that's kind of what you see.
Thinking about this down the road, for the rest of their career, at least in the UFC, what is Bruce Buffer going to say when they introduce him?
The Ultimate Fighter champion, yeah.
Ultimate Fighter Season 30 champion, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
So they may not have thought about it, but I think they both have.
I think they both have. I think they know what a big deal this is, and the really, really good fighters and some great fighters have come out of the Ultimate Fighting Championships, and so I think it's gonna be awesome, man. It's gonna be awesome.
Let me ask you a personal question.
Okay.
We normally don't do a lot of football stuff and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever thought about that? You're on the football field. You're in the middle of an NFL Sunday.
Yeah.
Do you I know you don't have time to think, but is that like, holy crap, I'm in the NFL?
Yeah. There's been my second start, my rookie year. We're playing. I think I told the story before. We're playing the Chiefs. Chiefs were on a 7-game win streak, and we had won a couple games in a row. We're on our little run that year, and we're on the last drive. We get a pick, and we're on the last drive to possibly win the game. And we're in the huddle. I just got rolled up on. Jameis pulls me up off the ground. We're sitting in the huddle, and the Chiefs are doing their tomahawk chant, and we're almost to the goal line. I'm just like, wow, like this is like a movie. Like I'm in the NFL. And it happened again my first Sunday night game and my first Monday night game, and I'm walking through, and I see Boomer and all those guys right there, and the whole production. There's twice as many cameras, and you see those moments in first second, you're like, holy cow, like I'm in the NFL, like blocking. There's moments, I'm blocking Julius Peppers. I'm like, dude, like
blocking Julius Peppers.
Dude, I watched you in high school. Like, what are we talking about? So those moments do come, and it's for a split second,
So when you say that to somebody like Julius Peppers, I've been watching you when I, was in high school.
Yeah.
Does that get him mad? That, hey, I'm not that old.
I didn't say that. No, I told him after the game. Because he came up to me. He was like, "You're going to be a good player for a very long time. It was great playing against you." And I'm like, "That means so much, dude. Like I watched you like since I was like a kid. You know what I mean?" And he just kind of laughed it off. And but those guys know. And like you pay your respects to the guys that did it before you.
Well, and you and I have talked about trash talking and all that stuff on the field. And
certain guys you don't trash talk.
But you're not trash talk to, or you can't say.
I can,
Julius Peppers.
Julius Peppers. You leave Julius Peppers alone because at any point in time he's going to be Julius Peppers.
So it's not necessarily a respect factor as much as what he's going to do, and sooner or later he's going to do something.
You just don't. Some bears you don't want to.
You
poke.
don't want to poke.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You just don't want to poke him.
Right.
You can go trash talk Tom Brady all you want to, but like when push comes to shove, he's Tom Brady.
Was it the Super Bowl that he said something, or was it was against Kansas City? Right?
Yeah, when he's chasing Tyrann Mathieu down the thing, and it's like, one thing that's made me love Tom so much more is to see his personality come out in Tampa. Because a lot of times you just kind of saw like the Patriots are so kind of closed in and buttoned up and nothing ever gets out. And he comes Tampa, he's showing himself, and like it's fun to watch.
And it's funny that came up because there was something I wanted to talk to you about, Paddy the Baddy.
Yeah.
So we've talked about this on the show, you and I, Knucklehead and I. The same athlete, two different people. I like one, I don't the other.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I like Tito, but kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's the same style. I don't want to say arrogance. Paddy, I wasn't sure about yet. I was leaning towards the negative.
Yeah.
And then the fight, and then his comments after about his friend that committed suicide.
Yeah.
And you saw a side of him that we never saw before.
Yeah.
We just saw that arrogant, I'm Paddy, I'm taking over the world, blah, blah, blah. I like him more now with that speech, kind of like the Tom Brady thing.
Yeah, I think people, when somebody kind of lets you into their personal and kind of shows you a little vulnerability, I think that makes you, have more endearment for him. I loved him before. I love a guy that can go talk trash and back it up.
I'm not saying I dislike him.
No, I understand, but it's just, there's a way it comes off,
Right.
And Conor really didn't show that kind of reserve side of him until he took a couple losses, and so people kind of like, eh. I don't. I love Conor.
The thing about Conor that I guess rubbed me the wrong way was you're promoting, you're selling WWE, then the fights after, and he's always said that he's honorable after the fight, which he's always been.
Always been.
And then 3 months later, he starts to crap up again.
Yeah.
I want somebody like the Tito Chuck hatred. I like that because it's real.
Yeah.
I don't want you to sell a fight. You don't need to act like that to sell a fight.
Sports doesn't exist in sports anymore. Excuse me. People have that thing with LeBron. He's too friendly. Like, we need Michael and Kobe and those guys who were killers all the time. I don't like anyone. And up until Kobe retired, he wasn't friends with anybody. Maybe behind closed doors, but you're not seeing that lovey-dovey stuff from them on the court or on the field. I think those days are over in sports. I think it's one of those things where guys want to be entertainers as much as they want to be, great athletes because they want to sell themselves. And what sells is the trash talk and the bravado and all those things like that. Like, look at Russell Wilson. Sorry to cut you off, Matt.
Don't cut Matt off. I mean, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry to
treat
cut
me
him
like
off.
Julius Peppers. Yeah.
And look at like a guy like Russell Wilson, who's a nice guy all the time and genuine all the time, and people call him corny. Right. It's like, people don't want to, as much as they say, well, we want a nice guy, they don't want to see that.
No,
But the better Russell passed away this week, Bill Russell. 11-time champion, activist, social rights advocate. This guy really transcended the game in society, and he was a true champion. 11 championships, and we're talking about people who have maybe one or no rings as being like greats or goats.
Yeah.
But this guy was truly a legend in all aspects.
He was.
He was. And he's never brought up, when you talk the greatest. It's always LeBron, it's always Jordan, but Russell can be in that conversation for sure.
Yeah, and I don't want to. Damn, he's a great player. I just think, as far as like goats, I think there's a different. Again, he's a big man, played in a different era and stuff like that. But like, he paved the way for the LeBrons and the Jordans and the Kobes and all those guys like that with his winning mentality. I saw a really good clip, and he was talking to Kobe how he loves his game and his intent every time he goes out there and steps on the court. And Kobe says, I got that from reading your book. Like,
oh, wow.
He's like, I got a lot of my mentality from what you said and the things that I read about you. And that was a beautiful thing to see.
I saw a thing on Facebook, and I normally don't watch a lot of this, but it was a former Laker player talking about Kobe.
Yeah.
And was talking about, how he doesn't pass the ball, and he didn't use the word ball hog, but that's what he's talking about. And he said that Kobe explained to me why I do it.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm in the gym early. I'm in the gym late. These guys walk in 5 minutes before practice. And then they leave. Because I'm not passing them the ball.
You didn't put in the work like I did.
Put in the work. That was awesome.
Yeah. I saw that too. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And like those guys, when you see it and when you hear the way how passionate they are and how much work and time they put in, it's just so great. I watch Kobe Bryant's Muse like every couple months, his movie.
Right.
I think it's a beautiful thing just to see like the inside of how he thinks.
So any thoughts on Saturday? Any predictions for Saturday? Or are we just going to go, let's sit back and watch and enjoy? That's what I'm going.
Yeah, let's sit back and enjoy.
Yeah, I don't want to give favoritism one way or the other.
Yeah.
Well, it's not, it's not favoritism
Just who wins.
unless you're picking someone because, that's your favorite. Then it would be favoritism.
Well, I did order a jersey with their name on.
But there is, and Kenny Florian gave me crap about this when I said I don't like to pick because I don't want to upset people that I know. I mean, if you believe that's who you think is going to win, that's not favoritism. In this particular fight, and I've always said, a fight I want to watch is a fight I don't know who I think is going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong.
Well, if I bet on this one, do I get suspended for a year?
From this show.
I need about $1,000, kid.
No, just $1.
Quick thought. I know we got a couple minutes. Jake Paul's fight getting canceled. What do you think? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
A lot of people think that was set up.
Yeah,
of course,
never
they
gonna
think
happen.
everything about his fight is that set up.
That fight was never going to happen when they announced it.
But hold on, if there were stipulations, and you should have brought it up because we only have about 30 seconds,
Yeah.
if there were stipulations in the contract and the other fighter's not going to be able to meet those stipulations, I'm okay with it. It screws everybody that's bought tickets and is flying up and whatever. But if I was the fighter, you didn't make...
Do you think boxers are scared of him?
No.
They're scared to lose to him?
No.
You don't?
Well, yes and no. I don't
think they're scared to lose.
Right. I don't think that they're scared to lose, but I think they're scared they could lose,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Yes.
So
That's what I
you
think
don't
too.
want to be on that.
You don't want to be the guy that
lost
loses to Jake Paul.
to Jake Paul.
I feel
Right.
the same way.
All good. All right, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This will be up, posted on the YouTube channel, Knockout. Is it Knockout Space Radio, right? What's so funny?
Don't know you're on Knockout Radio.
Hey, my right-hand man is doing it.
Well,
But
it's right.
you saw who called out Paul, right?
No.
The boxer that was involved in beating up Jesse, the setup racial crime.
Oh, really?
Oh, no, I
Yeah,
didn't see that.
that's who called him out.
Okay, I'll take a look at that.
Yeah, I found that interesting. Who needs the publicity, I guess. All right, we'll see everybody next week. We'll be back out here at Tournament to Pizza. Until then, stop on by, grab a pie. This is Knockout Radio, brought to you by 8 Man Strong and Stout.
Run time.
Hey, how long did you plan that one out?